obviously, I want to thank our administration for putting the bid in. It's a lot of work behind the scenes to get that done, and to be one of the top 16 sites was awesome. Having to host at home, it's tremendous, and then having the challenges with the weather. Hats off to Andrew Powers, our grounds crew guy. He did a phenomenal job for us there. You couldn't even tell that it rained that much here, so it was just good. And of course, lots of people behind the scenes that to thank. There's just too many, but. The other thing I want to do is congratulate Oregon on their season. They're going to continue to get tougher. What a pitching staff they have. They've got a real luxury there with about 5 pitchers that all throw very well. Great defensive team, very fast. I mean, they're a solid ball club. I still don't think they deserve to be ranked at 21 in the country. I think their record showed that when they beat UCLA a couple of times as well. So. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you certainly after today, you don't want to see anybody lose or go home, and you feel for them because it could easily have gone the other way as well. But my hats off to their players for having to be here for over 11 hours today. We're here at 11 o'clock in the morning, and now it's 1 or 2 in the morning. So for them to keep their composure and come out and play as well as they did. I haven't seen a team like Oregon come out with that much energy and fire in that first game in a long time. It was it was suffocating, to tell you the truth, and we were able to ward it off. We made a great game of it in that last innings there with that almost home run by Courtney Day to tie it up, and it just went from there. So it was a great day of softball. I want to thank the fans for coming out and staying out here to 1:30 in the morning. What a tremendous support that was, and I don't think they were disappointed by the display these two teams put on.
Thanks, Coach. Just a reminder to go ahead and put your raise hand function up if you have a question, and we'll go ahead and start questions with Danny Davis.
Mike, how did you, get your team refocused and, composed after what was kind of a devastating loss in that first game, and, ready for that winner-takes-all game?
Well, I was actually advised to, and I never do this, is to create 2 plans. Plan A was if we won, and Plan B is if we lost. And so we kind of talked about it. If things came to it, we had to be ready for it. And so I think they were, weren't shocked by it. They knew it could go either way the first game, and we knew what we had to do the second game. Of course, I've never lost a shutout. So, Molly threw one of those for us, and boy, we needed it at a big time because, like you said, the runs were at a premium today.
We've talked a lot about the struggles that this team has had on defense, but that certainly wasn't the case in the second game. Camille was the star. What has she shown you, especially at the end of the season, when you chose to give her that third base job and have her kind of solidify that position for y'all?
Well, like she said, it's yes, sir. It's like, get me in the lineup anywhere and I'll do it. She hadn't practiced there to start the year. We throw her out there, and as much as hitting is contagious, errors can be contagious, and so can great play. And that just lifted this team. We needed that spark plug, and she was able to do that just through her enthusiasm in the field and gutless. I mean, just tremendous play. So it was big for us.
Kirk, go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations, Mike. You mentioned this pairing might be for entertainment value. I'd say it was pretty entertaining, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exceptionally so. I mean, look at Alyssa Brito's arm. I mean, I think she must throw 75-mile-an-hour overhand. I think Major League should look her up. She's got a cannon, and there's just so many great plays out there. And it's telling you. I think if you look around the country, you look at the regionals that are going on right now, you're seeing the level of players being raised, and by all teams. I mean, it's been tremendous.
And you don't just win with your ace and your best player. You've got your backup pitcher pitching the game she did, and you got Whitaker coming up with the crucial hit and the pinch hit the game before that to keep you alive. What does that say?
Well, Jordan is a kid we just love her power, and she's learning so much. She's kind of like a raw palate. And you just take her and you mold her, and she believes, and she comes through. And again, she has no fear. She doesn't know any better. I mean, most kids would probably be scared in that situation, but Jordan has no fear.
And what about Molly? I mean, she's not your ace, but what about her performance?
Oh, she was pretty stoic out there today. And like you said, you couldn't even tell if she was nervous or not. She just kept dialing it up out there, hitting the corners, using her off speed. I thought the the zone wasn't conducive to her pitching. It was more of a high umpire, in the zone. And, she battled around that a little bit and was able to use her off speed and got some huge outs. I mean, just think about it, first and third in the last innings with nobody out. We're able to get out of it. That was just tremendous. And especially have a kid that hit a home run in the first game. Yeah, I mean, Brito's tough.
Yeah. And lastly, just the weirdness of the day, Janae striking out twice in a game. And, you guys are home run hitters, but you didn't hit home runs today. It was just kind of bizarre, wasn't it?
Well, you you don't know what's going to happen sometimes, and we see that when you get to this type of year, the time of year, postseason, the pitching tends to take over a little bit, and you need that good defense, and and that was what we were able to do. But it was kind of a weird day. It's weird, it's just it is what it is. It's crazy.
Thanks, Mike. Congratulations.
Thank you
Hey,
again.
James, go ahead.
Mike, just strategically, you mentioned there the situation that came up, obviously in the seventh, that was their biggest threat. Walk me through just your thought process of sticking with your pitcher there, where obviously, one bad place ball and it's a tie game or worse. Why you choose to stick with her, and obviously she rewards you for that decision.
Well, I think, they were on Shea pretty good. Shea wasn't on her best game today, so I didn't feel like that was an option. I felt like with Molly's, fifth, 6th-year senior, super senior, grad senior for us, and just her experience out there, I didn't think she'd be phased by it. She was just going to continue to throw and pitch, and sometimes you just feel as a coach it's their game to lose, and you just got to trust in them, and I think they feel that sometimes. They feel that trust that you have.
Then the only other thing for me, Mike, is to the big picture of this and what was the spectacle aspect of this. And I wish I was there, but I wasn't. So I don't know what anybody may have said in terms of fans or anything, good or bad. I don't know. But
Well,
did any of this provide closure, if there is?
Oh, not necessary. And I never looked at it as an open wound either. I have no animosity towards Oregon or the Oregon team. And, I still follow them. And of course, I have a lot of recruits that are there. And, the kids and families are great. And, you just wish it wouldn't have to happen this way. But it seems like, you almost wish it would happen during the season. So it could have got out of the way. It was almost like somebody wanted to match this up. But I don't think we played it up too big, and I don't think the Oregon players played it up too big. It was just a game where each team wanted to go on to the next step, and that's what we saw. We saw just a knockdown, drag out, really tight ball game.
Ryan, go ahead.
Mike, you touched on it before the tournament started that Oregon's depth of pitching could be a factor if they had to play a bunch of games in a short amount of time, and that proved to be true. What was it like to see them battle through last night and tonight, and for your pitcher to match them up when it mattered most at the end?
Yeah, I mean, this way, we were in the same position a couple of years ago in 2019, lost the first game and come back. So we knew it wasn't impossible to do. And you just get on a roll and you get momentum going. I think that Oregon was pretty fired up last night. I watched the end of that game, and they were pretty excited about beating the team that knocked them into the losers bracket, and they came at us hard the first game, but no doubt about it. And so we had to kind of weather the storm a little bit, Yanez is as tough as there is. We've watched her all year, and she gets a lot of strikeouts, and I don't know how many she had tonight, but she was tough.
Got one last one. Danny, go ahead.
Mike, I don't know if you were looking at your watch or anything, or looking at the time, but were you expecting to play a second game tonight, regardless of when the first one ended, if Oregon did win?
No, I wasn't really kind of expecting it. I thought that maybe they might push it off to tomorrow, but the weather looked so bad that and I had a little concern, to tell you the truth. They had all the momentum, and we had just got beat. But I think that's why we made Plan B, and I think that really helped us. Is that some people may say, well, you shouldn't be thinking about losing, but you have to think about everything. You have to expect the unexpected. And anything can happen when these teams matching up. So I'm glad we did have Plan B. So I think our players were kind of prepared for it.
And then going forward, since this 2:00 in the morning right now, are you giving your players tomorrow off? Is it still business as usual? I mean, what's kind of the plan as you get ready for the super regionals?
Absolutely a day off. I mean, it's today already. So but so they got today off, and then we'll start to get back together, and we'll we'll take a look at the trainer and us a trainer, how everybody's feeling, how they're doing. Some may need a little more rest off than others, but it's a quick turnaround. We have to head out to Stillwater, and as you know, that's a very tough place to play. So we have to be ready to bring our best game this weekend.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time.